Kashif, I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. So I'd love to start off by asking, can you tell us what is football for peace?
Hey, thank you so much, and I'm really happy to be with you too. And congratulations to everyone on putting on an amazing show, especially Jeremy with his amazing passion again. And it's nice to meet you as well, Sophie. Yeah, so Football for Peace is actually ironically interesting timing and talking about the late Kofi Annan, because it was the late Kofi Annan that inspired this movement. Football for Peace started in 2006 at the United Nations. Elias Figueroa is our co-founder, and the late Kofi Annan actually announced this during that time, and he was the first person to kick off actually the Sport for Development and Peace office. And from his heritage, we brought it to this side of the world. And today, Football for Peace has become a movement which is basically raising awareness and resource for the planet's most pressing issues that today we're faced with. And as you know, soccer touches 3.5 billion people. And if you bring in American football, although it's a different ball, but the NFL, the NFL itself with the Super Bowl touches 260 million people. So if you start thinking about the power of the word football and how it can move people, communities, fans, and what it can do for, the pressing issues that we are facing today, both people and planet, I think it's the most amazing tool that we have. And that's what Football for Peace is advocating for.
I completely agree with you. I mean, we spoke earlier with Patrice Evra, and it was so inspiring to hear his story, and he shared very similar sentiments to you. But also, when we talk about creating a more peace and just world, there are a lot of impediments to that. So what worries you about the way that people are conducting themselves?
I think Patrice is, just on Patrice's point, he's an amazing personality and he's a good supporter of Football for Peace. Ironically, he played in our most local peace match we did in Dubai. Patrice is a great example of the question, because I think he's been advocating for a while as well on, some of these issues that people are facing, and how we can all come together to combine our efforts to make that difference. And from a footballer's perspective, looking at how the football community looks at this, is there's so many different fights that we can have as individuals, but as collectively, if you look at some of the issues that we're all facing together, it's how do we bring something together which can actually combine a collective effort to make that difference. And for me personally, there's so many issues today. You're looking at environmental and societal issues, and just this week, what we're faced with in Pakistan, and me obviously being a former Pakistan international footballer, is faced with a huge humanitarian crisis. 40 million people displaced, 1 million animals have died. So it's it's an environmental issue that I personally am looking at as well. But also, if you look at some of the issues around well-being, since COVID, the pandemic, and how that's affected so many different people, especially the next generation, on how we can basically come together to combat all of those things. And you look at well-being, poverty today, climate, water issues. What is that? And the question for me is, what does peace mean to so many different people, and how can we basically harness that?
And can you tell us also what inspires you? Why do you do this work, and how are you creating this more peaceful and sustainable world?
To be honest, for me, it's been a very, very organic journey, and how I've got involved in this. My mother has been my inspiration. She came over from Africa through Idi Amin's conflict, and for what she did for me to be, one of the few South Asian professional footballers in the UK, and gave me that platform. Herself and the issues that she faced around inequalities, freedom, mental freedom, and not having the ability to do what she wanted to do. But as a single mother, what she did for me, and that for me is something that I've always thought about giving back. And giving back in terms of the platform that my mother gave me, but I want to do it to, inspire many other people. And what better way to do it through the power of football? So really today we're trying to unlock the power of football, and that's really my inspiration, because I feel that the heritage of what Kofi Annan, Elias, and my mother, what they've showed me as role models, how can I take that to the next stage and really advocate that football is almost a superpower, but I don't feel that sports diplomacy is being unlocked enough and used enough, both at a bilateral level, at an international level, at a national level, and even a community level. And I think that's where my inspiration has been driven from, that I really feel that we have a unique opportunity to use the sport for better.
And can you talk to us more about what are your ideas? How can we use football and other sports as this avenue for diplomacy? How did you get involved in this work in the first place?
So I think it's, we're doing it right. So for example, perfectly, a great opportunity right now is to show you we're in this moment with the Pakistan crisis and what we've done to lobby, football clubs getting behind it, footballers to raise awareness for it. So we've actually been working with British Airways, and they have given us an opportunity to take a whole plane to Pakistan for the floods. But what we're doing is basically we're bringing the football community behind us. So football clubs are getting involved. And once you get a club involved, then they come with their fans. So you advocate on that. And we're taking 20 tons of aid over to Pakistan on Sunday, and basically keeping this humanitarian cause in the hearts and minds of people on this side of the world. I think the other way to look at it is, what my personal thing is, that when there is a crisis, we're looking at putting on peace matches. So these peace matches raise awareness for a cause, whatever that cause is. But these peace matches can also act as symbolic moments. So you look at the Christmas truce match, when England and Germany put their weapons down and played a game of football in World War. That's another opportunity to look at how football or sports generally has done, for example, stopping wars. Can we carry on that act of symbolism not only during a conflict, but can we do that during our daily lives? Could we do that at a community level? And can we bring young children from different faiths, different cultures? And that, for me, is how we can create change in communities.
Well, I think the work that you're doing is so inspiring. And for other people in the audience who are also inspired, how can they join Football for Peace? How can we support the work that you're doing?
It's all open now. There's so many ways, right? So there's opportunities to get involved in what we're trying to do internationally, then also within your own countries. So basically, right now, we're trying to create this movement of 10 million young footballers for peace to join the movement, to take on actions of good deeds in your own community. Join our goals, support the sustainable development goals, but do it through football. Get involved with us through the website, social media handles at Football for Peace. Me personally, get involved with me and what I'm trying to do. And it's just, join the football family and all the amazing other players that are supporting us, and watch this space, I guess.
Love it. And if there's one wish you had about the work that you're doing and how you could continue to build on it, what would it be? What are you looking forward to?
For me, it's a real 10-year plan. My wish is to kind of think, how do I fast track and see where we are by the year 2030, right? It's the Sustainable Development Goals era. It's a decade of peace. Where do we fast track and see where we are in 10 years? And for me, that opportunity is by bridging the gap between sports and diplomacy and bringing that closer, because I really feel that we have a unique opportunity to use sports diplomacy to create a better world.
I completely agree. And I think maybe the last thing that you would like to leave our audience with, what are your final words, your final call to action?
My call to action is that I just feel that, for the younger audiences, no matter what hardship you're going through, always be confident and be resilient in your thinking. There'll be many, many different things that come in our way, and constantly, but the one thing is that you always got to have hope. You've got to fight, you've got to believe and keep fighting for your cause, and whatever that is. And that could just literally be the most simplest things. And any support that I can give, or our Football for Peace family, we're here for you, and look forward to meeting anyone I can to support and get involved. And obviously, Sophie, we'd love to see you on a soccer pitch soon as well.
I would love that. Well, you guys heard it first here today. That's what's coming up. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I know that as a young person, I'm so inspired by the work that you're doing, and I'm sure our audience feels the same way.
Yeah, no, thank you for your work, and thank you for hosting. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks, everyone.
Brilliant.